All right, Shalom. This is Har one by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Call Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakak Wadash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Now, this is a follow up to the lesson I just did dealing with the marriage. All right. Matthew chapter 22. Now, we know the wedding and the marriage that the scriptures speak of is between Yahweh Shai and the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, which ultimately will bring in the rest of Israel in the kingdom. All right. Now, you have a bride and you have a bridegroom. That bridegroom is Yahweh Shai, and the bride is the woman, which is the servant. All right, the ones that serve him. All right, the hopeful elect. So I'm gonna get broke down Matthew chapter 22 and 1 all the way to 2, but now I want to move into verse 3, maybe all the way to 4. Okay, so this is Matthew 22 and 3, and he sent forth his servants. All right, they were the servants to call them that were bidden to the marriage, to the wedding, and they would not come. And that happened 2,000 years ago, where the apostles were sent out, and the ones that didn't listen, they were destroyed without hope. All right, without sacrifice. Presenting their body as a living sacrifice. So they had no foundation for today. All right, no promise for today. So in these days, the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet. You're gonna be a prophet then, you're gonna be a prophet now. Telling the same people that wouldn't listen back then, they're not gonna listen now. The ones that will listen, they're gonna listen. My sheep hear my voice. That was Yahushua said. I know them and they follow me. See? So we follow Yahushua. It says, and sent forth his servants to call them. So the Lord said, what? Today, he sends us into the world. Not that he should take us out of the world, but that he'll be with us in the world. All right? As we reach our fellow brethren and sisters. It says, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding. Right? Many are called, but few are chosen. And they would not come, so they wouldn't listen. All right, and this goes perfectly with Matthew's chapter 13. All right, but I'm gonna read Matthew's 25 because it said they would not come, man. Well, actually, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna go ahead and get Matthew's 13 real quick. This is Matthew's 13 and 19. And it says, well, actually 13 and 15. Wow, that's crazy. Matthew's 13 and 10. Sheesh. Start from 1. The same day went Yahweh Shai out of the house and sat. This is Matthew's 23 and 1. 13 and 1. The same day went Yahweh Shai out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, fell by the side, and the fowls came and devoured them. Meaning they can't even get this truth. It just Devil showed up and pluck it right out of the head. They just can't get it. All right. Um, some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth, man. So they, after a while, they bear for a little bit of time, then they die out, in this truth. You see some people come into this truth, they might be homeless or something. The next thing you know, they get a job and they get a woman, they get healthy. Next thing you know, they just go into the world. They take that as their reward and they begin to mock you because you still teaching. And they say things like, "You don't fuck with me no more?" No, you don't rock with your Howard Shine no more. So why rock with you? You turn your back on your Howard Shine. What should make me think you won't turn your back on me? I'm nobody. You get what I'm saying? So I avoid these people, man, like the plague, because they want that shit to rub off on you. And they would love to see you pull away from this truth and be in the world with them. You know? That's why this little quote is up here. It says, "You have three choices in life." Of course, you have many choices, but you can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened. All right, so a lot of you people are gonna be wondering what the hell happened. All right, so where was I at? Verse 5. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth, no foundation. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away, man. It's crazy. As soon as affliction comes, and they can't bear it. And some fell upon thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them, man. So meaning they can't get this word. They try to read it, they attempt to, but the ways of this world uh, blind them. The ways of this world corrupt them. All right, pull them into it. They worry about this, the success in this society, or working, or their merchandise, or their businesses. They worry about that more than Yahushua's business. And some fell upon thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them, man. So the worries of this world begin to choke the word out of them, choke that fire, that passion out of them. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some in hundredfold. So you spring up, you grow, the next thing you know, you drop seeds out and more grow, more grow, more grow. All right. The gift that keeps on giving. Some in hundredfold, and some 50, 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Who have ears to hear, let him hear, man. All right. So now, verse 15. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have they closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. All right, that goes along with Matthew's 22 and 2 or 3. All right, they will not come. Their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes, they close them. They don't want to hear it no more. Verse 16, 17. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Right? Because today we're prophesying, saying, hey, the RFID chip is a mark of the beast. World War III is about to break out. Everything's made plain and clear to us. All right. And back then, we wanted to hear that. We wanted to hear that the time is now. That's what they kept asking the Lord. Are you about to return the kingdom now? So they desired to see that day. But today we get to see it. That's a blessing. Verse 18, hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, the word of the prophecy, right? Talking about the kingdom and the righteous and its righteousness, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, that's the fowls, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart, in his mind. This is he which receives seed by the wayside. All right. So that's the one that receives seed by the wayside, and they cast it behind them. You know, and that's just it. They cast it behind them, and they're not going to be converted. They're going to keep their minds singed with the hot iron. They don't dump out that wine so their bottle can be filled. They keep that old wine. All right, that's what you call somebody that's what called stuck in their ways. All right. So two-thirds of our people, their hearts are hardened, and the Lord is blocking them because He don't want them. But the ones He did call, and the ones that wouldn't hear, wouldn't listen at all, that's what He's talking about. But then you have some that listen, might study, they might be, I'm an Israelite, but they never go out and teach. They never step into it, man. They only become the toy soldier, meaning built up like Ezekiel 37, standing upon their feet, having knowing that they're Israelite, basically. But even knowing that, you still have to go teach and do the work and be given instruction, be set in order. So it says, verse 4, again, Matthew 22:4, again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. All right, Jews and Gentiles, he's going out to the whole world now, the children of Israel. All right, Peter and Paul, and even Stephen, one of the believers that got persecuted back in 35 AD or 34 AD, around that time when Paul first started his prophesying. All right, started his journey. All right, when he first came into the faith, which was around that time, the time when Caligula, before Caligula got into power, around before 38 BC AD. All right, and I think Nero popped up on the scene late around that time. So this is now it says, behold, verse 4. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. All right, so everything's ready, man. The dinner, the oil, the wine, the meat. He said, those that are you desire the sincere milk of the word, right? And if you have need that you want to be taught again, and not have the need of strong meat, instead you need the milk to be taught again. So what's that meat and the milk, man? The deep things. And then you have the things on the surface, which are knowing you're an Israelite. You feel me? But you still have to be instructed. I'm gonna get Psalms 23:5. It's Psalms 23. No, it's 33. This is Psalms 23 and 5. Thou preparest a table before me. All right. And that table is this food, this word. He say, what? Consume the whole roll. Eat this roll. All right. Be occupied in prophecies. It says, thou preparest a table before me. That's why he said, wisdom have said she had prepared her oxen, prepared these things. And ultimately, Yahweh sent Yahweh to do it. All right. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. All right. So before we were even here, the table was prepared, man. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. And look at your oil. So you have the olives, you have the oil, you have the lamb, you have the meat, the deep things, you have the wine, the bread. All right. And this is like the herb for healing. So you got everything you need. And this is what? Bitter and sweet. So it's like honey. And it's like the bitter herbs, the spices to clean you. All right. So this is everything. This is a feast, a love feast, agape, right? A love feast. So he prepared a table before us in the presence of our enemies. All right. Matter of fact, 23 and 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, man. The still waters represent the scriptures and safety. And the green pastures, that's where the green pastures represents waters of quietness. All right, to be able to graze in peace. You ever see cattle and they shepherd and they find a peaceful land? He let the cattle go graze in nice green grass. That's what Yahweh leads us to. All right. So it says, so verse 4, again he sent forth other servants, saying, Matthew 22 and 4, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. That's today. But they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm and other to his merchandise. All right. All right. It says right here, it says, verse 5, but they made light of it. So they made light of Yahweh's return and being prepared, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. All right. Now, that, you know, that's like today, and even 2,000 years ago, where the Lord sent his prophets, and the people that were in the world, they didn't care, man. They just didn't want to hear it, or they were bidden, and they act like they believe, and then they make light of it, man. Like, oh, word, that's deep. Or I believe in Yahweh, or your God, Yahweh. You know, they just talk like making light of it. You know, they acknowledge it, but they make light of it and take it serious. And you got people like that today, and even since Bidden and Apostle Hart been teaching, people that were in this truth, or that believe, or they say they believe, or they just walk past and keep it pushing. People like Nate that chased after their riches, and it's crazy, man. So that's what it means right there, where it says, but they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm. Now, what do you get from the farm is basically your investments or your land. All right, be like your land, or your crops or your harvest, the things you hoping that your investments give a return on. So that's what everybody's into. It says, and other to his merchandise, and his merchandise represents like business, his money, your jobs. All right. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna get this scripture real quick. Matthew 13-20. We just went through Matthew 13 and 19. So it's Matthew 13 and 20. But he that received the seed into the stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. See that? But these are the one that make light of it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation and persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. That's your farm and your merchandise. All right. The deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful, man. All right. So let me get this real quick. This is Matthew 22 and 5. But they made light of it. All right. And they taking the world serious, and their businesses and everything else serious. And they're slothful in the Lord's business, and went their ways, one to his farm and another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. And that happened 2,000 years ago. They were killing us. All right. Just like I was saying with like Stephen in 34, 35 AD. And, they started persecuting each other, trying to kill each other, stoning each other. The Sanhedrin, what you call the elites of our nation at that time, or the government, which was like the Sadducees and the Pharisees. All right. And they felt that they could just stone us. But the scripture said, he that without sin cast ye the first stone. But we were being persecuted. Like they stoned Paul, tried to kill him. They, turned us over to the Roman Empire, the Roman authorities. All right. So what? It says, and when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burnt up their cities, their city. So when did that happen? That happened in the cutoff point, 70 AD. All right, to where the scribes and Pharisees were killed, and the wicked were killed, and even the prophets were killed among them. All right, but their soul, the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh. He take care of them, man, and they have a hope. All right, hope of salvation. So that's the difference. To suffer for good or to suffer for bad, Now, verse 8. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. And why were they not worthy? Let me get this 20. I'm gonna get it again. Matthew 25 real quick. This is Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. All right, meaning half and half. It's just two sides. You either cold or hot. That's it. That's what it's talking about there. Half on one side, half on the other. Either cold or you're hot. No in between. No lukewarm. Virgins meaning what? Pure. All right, not corrupted with the philosophies of this world. All right, this is Revelations 14 and 4. These are and 3. It says, and they sung as it were. So like it, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. So the ones that are being called now, and they're not doing the work, and they're not trying to keep the laws, they toying around with it, man. They're not going to be in that number. All right. They're going to be written in the book of the dead instead of the book of life. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. All right. So the same way the action hits you first, or lightning hits the ground first, and then you hear the thunder. So when the Most High speaks it's already happened. It's already in action. You know. Strong and powerful and quaking. A striking voice. And they sung as it were a new song. And this is a new song, meaning a refreshed song, man. All right. As it were a new song. Before the throne and before the four beasts, the four angels, Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, and Raphael, and the elders, and no man could learn that song, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Why? Because the Lord spake in parables, and you won't be able to get it, no matter how much you try, if it's not meant for you. All right. So that's why we don't beat it in nobody's head to try to get them to team up with us and all this shit. The Lord is going to get his number regardless. All right. So nobody's able to learn this song, man. And song is basically sung to harmony or melody. And us being in harmony around the four corners of the earth, that creates a song when you have the words. The words are poetry. And when we speak it, we bring it to life again. You see that? The words on paper have no sound. When we speak, we give it sound. So we're his voice. All right? And we're singing together in harmony. Going from boys to men. Verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women. All right? So, and that women there is talking about philosophies and the wine of these heathen nations, and even our nation, you know, the wicked, when they're in their wicked mind state, their imaginations of their own mind. All right. These were not defiled with women, and they're not drunken off the wine of these nations and of America. For they are virgins, meaning pure. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth, man, being led by the shepherd. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. So that's the point, man, being the first fruits of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. All right, that bride that's called to the wedding. And in their mouth was found no guile, right? Because scriptures say, every idle word that men shall speak, you're going to give account for in the day of judgment. So this is all about the testimony. For they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh, man. So this is all about our testimony. Scriptures say he chose through the foolishness of preaching that ye shall be saved, man. All right. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon 10:3 real quick. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse let me make sure it's the right one. All right, now I'm gonna get Matthew 22 and kind of recap where we're at. Matthew 22:8. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. All right. So let's get Matthew 25 and 1. All right. Now this is where I was at. It says Matthew 25 and 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be like unto 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish, meaning half were wicked and half were righteous. That they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. All right, so they went their way, man. They're Israelites, but they took no oil with them. They might have went out and started teaching or anything, started their own camps, but they never studied. They never followed out the apostles, right? Or built no foundation. Study to show themselves approved, a workman that should not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. All right, because some people they'll go out and just be tyrants, man, talking shit to people or talk shit to their brothers, but then you ask them to break down something, they don't know shit. So they're not doing their due diligence. They're just in this because it's a fad, man. All right, they were probably niggas in the world, and they get into this truth, and they still niggas. Right? You gotta watch them, man. They act all humble and shit, but they be talking shit to you. All right, dumb niggas ain't gonna make it, man. The Lord don't want that shit, man. You false flagging as grimy niggas, man, claiming to be prophets, but you're really dogging brothers out, dogging people out. But somebody asks you to break something down, you can't. All right. Now, and you know, 5 were wise and 5 were foolish, man. All right. So people that went back into the world stopped teaching, or that just didn't want to hear you, or they scoffed at the word. It says, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept, man. All right. So what Revelation 2 and 9, or Revelation 11 and 8 said that we were dead. A dead body was lying in the street of a great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right. Now when that cry went out, we stood upon our feet, a great exceeding army. And now we're in that time. All right. So we're at midnight. It said, and at midnight there was a cry made. Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him, man. That means what? Go out into the streets and teach. You know, present our body as a living sacrifice. Putting your candle out in the open. Going out to the highways and byways. I'm going to do that lesson next. Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said, and what do you trim your lamp for? So you can see clear. You can keep the oil, protect the oil. You trim the lamp so you can see clearer outside. Right? And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out. So in that day, they're going to try to get down with you. Or they might say, hey, can you do this breakdown? And they don't understand that you're growing in the truth. It could be a week. It could be 2 days you miss. Then all of a sudden you show back up. You done miss so much, man, because the spirit is quick. You can show up, be gone for a month. And then when you show back up, the least in the camp, the newest brother in the camp know more than you. You could have been in this for years. You have to get back on the milk. All right. It says, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out. And a lot of you people that's eating off these different trees, going up to different camps, GOCC, IUIC, ISUBK, eventually you're gonna want to link up with GMS, Apostle Tahar, and the umbrella camps that are under him. All right, that may not have gotten along with certain brothers, that may have just had conflicts in the camps to where you had to separate, but that doesn't stop your teaching. That doesn't stop your passion and compassion towards brotherhood, the brother that's been brotherly to you. That doesn't stop your teaching or your doctrine. All right, or your works being accounted for by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's like Paul said, one said, I am of Cephas, I am of Barnabas. Are any of those crucified for you? No. The one that's crucified is Yahushua. All right, we give honor to the elders, but the one that died for us is Yahushua, man. All right, everybody else, we all just men. You know, it says, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out. And even today, man, you have certain brothers show up or call you or anything, and you don't have time to run through all of that with them again. You can hand them to a younger brother in the camp. They got that fire to talk about the milk, you know, the new things, you know, the sweet and the bitter. But you doing this work, you ain't got time to be trying to sit down and, no, man, get with it or get lost, period. All right, you should be studying at home, preparing yourself, working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And that's what makes a team. All right, but the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Meaning, go back out to the world where you was at. Go into your you better go to the internet. You better go to GOCC. Go to where you just came from. Go to these other brothers. Maybe they'll deal with you. It says, because he said, what? Buy for yourselves, man. He said, I want you to buy of me without money. All right. It's crazy. So you got to do the work yourself. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh, man. So you're going to have some people that claim they know the Lord, but they're not doing the work. Claim they know the Lord, but they're not keeping the laws, or not being brotherly to brothers, you know, or honoring the elders. Instead, they scoff at the elders, or, you know, if you feel like something wrong, you feel like something wrong. That's just how it is, you know. But if you feel like something right, that's just it. It's about timing. It's about how you handle things, you know, with order, everything done in decency and in order. Because you have the right to disagree with things. You can agree and disagree, but it's still about how you handle things in this body, man. It's about the Lord's mission. It's not about your mission. It's about his mission, you know. So I'm going to get sidetracked. Let me keep going. All right. So now, Matthew 22:8. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. All right. So they're not worthy. Even though the scriptures say many are called, but few are chosen. All right. This is Matthew 20:16. So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many are called, but few are chosen, man. All right, so many are called. His voice went out through the spirit going out through the four corners of the earth, but few are going to be chosen. All right, he made this world for many, but the world to come, he made for few. All right, and even though Israel be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant gonna be saved. All right. So many are called to do this work, but a lot of you just not worthy. He said, any man that put his hand to the plow, look back, is not fit for the kingdom. Damn cowards.